Hi, this is Dr. Anita, and thank you for joining me for another Diamond Moment. We've had the opportunity to discuss quite a few topics over the past year, a little less than a year and a half, and I hope that, as I always remind you, that you have an opportunity to go back and maybe listen to some of those other discussions. What I wanted to talk to you about today was very interesting in that I had the opportunity of meeting a young woman was traveling last week, and I had the opportunity to meet a young woman on my way coming back. Her name was Jessica. Hopefully one day she may hear this podcast and know what an impression that she made on me, and hopefully I made an impression on her as well. She was a very interesting young lady, and in that, I mean that she'd had a lot of different life's experiences. Some of those maybe not as positive as what she would have liked, and was at a place in her life that was a challenging spot in life. One of the first questions that she asked me, and I got the impression from her that more than anything else, she needed the voice of someone who was more mature, maybe had been some places that she hadn't been in her life, and was really seeking to have an understanding from someone that she didn't have currently, or wasn't able to process and pull together currently on her own. And as a result, we had an hours-long conversation in transit over issues of life, over places that she'd been, over questions that she'd had. She expressed to me the fact that her mom got sick and died early in life. And so she had not been around a mother figure, so to speak. And I took from our exchange that she really kind of needed the advice of a mom. She was a mother, and hopefully if she's hearing this today, which is Mother's Day, that she had a wonderful Mother's Day. But she had some issues in her life that were causing her some distress and some challenges, and those are among the things that we talked about. One of the issues that we've discussed before is looking at what the difference between joy and happiness is. I gave you a loose definition, or something that you could think about as it related to happiness, as happiness is created by what is happening. So it's an outside of yourself experience. I'm happy because I got new shoes. I'm happy because this took place, or I wanted this and now I'm happy. But as we talked, I asked her the definition between happiness and between joy. She had a definition for happiness, but not a definition for joy. I shared with her that in my estimation, joy comes from within. Joy is not a condition outside of ourselves. Joy stems from an inner peace, an inner place in which no matter what's taking place outside of you, that joy that is within you will always sustain you. So it was interesting to hear her take on what happiness was, and really not having considered the role of joy, that emotion that stems from within. In our conversation, we kind of got to the point of realizing that maybe when we're looking at happiness, when we're looking outside of ourselves at happiness, when we are looking for a relationship or a person to make us happy, or a situation in life, maybe where we're living, or the things that we've been able to acquire to make us happy, we discount the role of joy. And we also place power on that person, on that thing, on that situation outside of ourselves. When we do that, if that person or that place or that situation leaves, then we no longer are happy. At that point, we lose the ability to determine how our life functions and how our lives move forward because we've given the power to something or someone outside of ourselves. So that was one of the topics and the themes that we talked about. And I said that I believe would be a really good point to bring forward. How do you view happiness? What are you looking for in your life? Do you believe that you have achieved happiness? Is happiness to you something that lies outside of yourself that maybe you have given power to? And if you're not experiencing joy, that peace within, that settled feeling within, that all is well, even in the midst of situations not being ideal, relationships not being perfect, finances may be having some challenge, but you can still look within yourself in a realm of joy that connects to the peace of mind, the peace that passes all understanding, that will keep your heart, that will keep you safe, that will keep you in a good place, no matter what's taking place outside of you, around you, by you, no matter what you got or did not get, no matter the relationship or the way that that relationship is functioning. When you have joy, you have something that stems from within, and that which is without does not touch it. I also talked with her about that infamous word, patience. Dun, dun, dun. Patience is one of those things that every time, and I've said this to you before, every time someone speaks to me about, Dr. Anita, I need to get patience, I say, well, you're in for it now. Patience requires waiting. And if you cannot handle waiting, patience is going to be a real issue for you. So I wanted to prepare you on that patience tip that you're going to have to learn how to wait. And it's really good when you can utilize that joy from within while you're patiently waiting for that which is without to come into being. When we're looking and believing for or believing to manifest a particular situation in our lives. Some people term it as manifest. Some people term it as believing that God will provide what they need, that spirit, the creator, source, God is moving you to where you need to be. Well, when you understand that, then you can understand the role of patience. And when you understand the role of patience, you have the ability to be patient. You can't get to the end of the movie when you first start, unless you, especially if you're in a movie theater. You're just going to have to sit through it. You might say, well, they said that the end was really good and I can hardly wait to see the end. But you can't get to the end without going from the beginning to the middle and then working your way to the finale. And there are some times in life we want to jump to the end. We just want to know what it's going to be. We want to find out whether or not this person is for you or not. I had a very wise man once early in my life where I'd met a young man and I thought maybe he was the one. And just so you know, he wasn't the one. But I was still thinking maybe he's the one. And I talked to this teacher, spiritual teacher, and he told me, don't jump ahead. Just experience where you are. Be able to accept and to celebrate where you are today and not where you want to be. And I think so many times that's where we are in life. We want to skip ahead to where we want to be, while we've never taken advantage or fully understood the role of where we are. That possibly in our patient waiting, we're gaining the ability to maintain that new spot. You know, sometimes we want to get somewhere and we don't have the maturity to stay there. We want to get there, but if it came to us on this very day, we wouldn't have the maturity to be able to appreciate where you are. You know, there's some times when you want to be so much ahead, and we grow up and we want to be 5.5 because you're almost 6, but yet you're not almost 6. You are 5.5. And then we get to 6, and then we're about 3-4 days out of 6. We're almost 7. Nope, we're not almost 7. And there are a myriad of experiences that can occur between 6 and 7. When we look at the development of a child, and we see a child who was just born, the amount of growth that takes place between 0 and 1 year old is phenomenal. There's no way in the world that 1 or 2 week old baby can do what a baby can do at 1 year old. And so we tend to discount the role of growing, of maturing, of experiencing, of learning, so that we can get to that place where we are 7, we are 15, we are 21. And we've done that because along the way, we're learning, we're growing. If the choices were put in front of a 15-year-old that a 45-year-old needs to make, that 15-year-old will not have the experience that they need in order to take advantage of that situation placed in front of them right now today. We see this in the lives of maybe celebrities that we may have followed that were child stars, and then they went off track. They thought that I have the information that I need to do whatever I want. I'm making the money. I'm independent. We've seen young people who have gone to court and been declared as independent so that they could run their own lives. But I truly believe if they were to tell the truth of the experience, they'd understand that although they may have been ready, they may have thought that they were able to make the decisions that were necessary to live this life that they wanted. The reality is that there's still room for growth. There's still time that's needed in order to get to the place that they wanted to get to. And that no matter how much you want to skip ahead and be somewhere else, you can't do that. You cannot get to the end of the movie at the beginning. You're going to have to use patience. You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to go through. And when you're able to understand that, and you understand that that which is without does not create that place of patient waiting, it makes it difficult because you want to know, you want to see. You can't be happy without this. You can't be happy unless you've acquired this. You can't be happy unless this person is in your life. But as you grow and mature, you find out that you're in preparation. You're in preparation for what it is that God, Source, the Creator, Spirit has for you. And you can't circumvent that simply because you're ready to move on to something else. You really do have to wait. And it's all about joy while you're waiting. Thank you for joining me for a Diamond Moment with Dr. Anita. Please visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. That's www.DrAnitaMc.com for additional information. I also would welcome you joining me on wisdom.com and on FanBase. Please keep up. We're moving forward, and you don't want to be left behind.